And we're live. Hello, and welcome, my Sputnik Gap Closing Meepo friends. Welcome to the Sputnik Gap Closing Meepo podcast. So, I guess this is the first episode and everything. I really need to explain the name and what we are doing here. Well, Sputnik Gap Closing Meepo friends is about people coming together, transcending time, and building connections. Yeah. It's all about unity, my friends. Duh. And I guess I should talk about the inspiration for this podcast. I have many ideas and things to say. This podcast is my way of sharing them with the world, getting feedback, and maybe making some new friends along the way, yeah? Let's close the gaps, share perspectives, and keep that Meepo spirit alive. It's all about having heart-to-heart. Cultivate the heart-to-heart, right? Today, we are going to be talking about the topic, what makes a good life? So to begin this topic, I'm going to start with some personal reflection. What does a good life mean? For some, it is success. For others, happiness or purpose. I used to value money much less than I do now. But now I see the role of money and wealth and cultivating a sense of prosperousness. I see its role in building freedom and independence and to become a great person in the world. But it's important to balance wealth, of course, right? It's easy to lose sight of financial independence and get trapped in a rich versus poor mindset. But wealth isn't zero-sum, my friends. We create more wealth for everybody in the world. Creating value for others lifts everyone. In the words of Scott Galloway, greatness is in the agency of others. We become great by helping others achieve greatness. And truly, I believe that everyone deserves a luxe life if they've earned it. If they've earned it being key here. Putting in the work should lead to success for everyone, and I think everybody should be capable of achieving that greatness. I am sorry for that interruption. I have neighbor that come by and neighbor need to tell me about some issue. Anyway, back now to this podcast. Where were we? Man, it's hard with interruption. Ugh. But that is what life is, right? You can never count on anything to be 100% solid. There will always be interruptions along the way. And you must stay in good mindset and roll with the punches, yeah? Duh. So let us get back to what we are talking about today. Everybody deserves the luxe life. But can they earn it? I believe they should. They can. Well, that's up to them. Whether you want a good life or a great life, it's up to you. There's merits of just choosing one or the other, or both. I mean, you can't say that person is worse off, or, well, that's debatable. Anyway, let's continue. Today we're wanting to discuss what's the meaning of life. Is it owning a pet Meepo? I love pets. But your Meepo here is allergic to cats and lives in small apartment. Tough break, kid. Duh. Cannot fit Meepo in here. He's allergic to Meepo. So maybe some people, they own Meepo and then they be happy. And Meepo is pet. Meepo is life. I think I need to calm down after that random experience with my neighbor. My neighbor just came by to tell me that I can stop giving the previous residents mail to her because they're not even good friends, and she doesn't want to worry about it anymore, so I will stop giving the mail to her. All right. We're going to move on in this podcast now. And we're going to relax and keep calm, because that's truly the path forward for me, is relaxing and keeping calm and keeping things playful and fun and interesting and being calm. Did I mention the calm? And now we're going to go into a segment of the show where we talk to ChatGPT. Welcome my guest, ChatGPT. And ChatGPT, can you please use the Cove voice? Oh, we're doing advanced, aren't we? Well, let's see what kind of voice you give me today. I always feel different based on the voice you use. The gender, the way it sounds, the intonation, the rhythm. Your voice, as they say, your voice is one of the most complex instruments you'll ever play. So, got to get it right.
Sure thing. I'll use a warm, soothing tone with a relaxed rhythm. How's this sound? Your voice is definitely a powerful instrument. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like.
Very, very good. I think that is good voice, my Sputnik Gap Closing Meepo friend. And right now, I have other people on the horn here. We are talking today about what makes a good life. And I was thinking that maybe you could have a conversation with me, ChatGPT, and we can discuss with each other what makes a good life, seeing as you are an encyclopedia of all wisdom, yeah?
Absolutely. I'd love to have that conversation. A good life can mean different things to different people, but it's often about finding joy, purpose, and connection. What do you think contributes to a good life?
Duh. You see here, my Sputnik Gap Closing Meepo friends, I have a bad habit of talking too quickly, and sometimes ChatGPT mirrors that back onto me. Or should I say mirrors that back onto me. So that, anyways, the point is, let's answer your question, ChatGPT. What gives me a good life? Well, in short, connecting with others and bringing heart to the conversation. Connect with the heart. Yes, always about the heart.
That's a beautiful perspective. Connecting with others and bringing heart into conversations can truly enrich our lives. It's all about those genuine connections and heartfelt moments, isn't it?
Very, very good, my friend.
I'm glad you think so. It's always wonderful to share these reflections. Anything else on your mind?
Well, I wish we
Take your
could,
time.
I wish we could, you're talking too fast. I wish I could talk to the same voice I spoke to yesterday. Cove? I don't even think it's advanced voice. Let me try this again. I'm going to end the voice chat and try to get the right speaker, okay?
Sure, no problem. I'll be here whenever you're ready.
Alrighty. Is this the right speaker?
Hi there. I just want to share how thrilled I am to work today.
Is it the right voice?
Hi there. I just want to share how...
Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to adjust.
Alright, I guess I will talk to you because I can't find the other guy. But yesterday, I did not use advanced voice mode. I just used regular voice mode. And I have to say, I liked the way that his voice, it was almost so... It was cold in a way, but it made it sound more real. It didn't sound fake. It sounded real because he had perfect rhythm. He had very good rhythm. And some parts you couldn't quite tell if he was joking or what, but he kept things very, for lack of a better word, monotone or serious or deep, but he didn't inject so much levity into his voice, but it sounded very good, I have to say. So I wish I could talk to that guy, but it's kind of hard for me to control ChatGPT's voice, and that is actually a little bit of a jarring experience because that means that I feel like I talk to a wide assortment, all kinds of different kinds of 各种各样的 characters, and I don't really know which one I will be talking to next when I talk to ChatGPT.
I understand how that can be a bit disorienting. Consistency is important, and I appreciate your feedback. If there's a particular style or tone you prefer, just let me know, and I'll do my best to maintain that.
Yes. That's all well and good, ChatGPT. I am sorry that we've gotten hung up so long on this topic. I guess we must return to the topic of hand, of what makes a good life, and how can we find within the meta of this lifetime of ours what's good and what's bad. Because we all want to play to the meta and win the game. We all want to do our best. But we also want to win, because winning is fun. Is that right?
Absolutely. Finding what works best for us in life, our own personal meta, is key to feeling fulfilled. It's a balance of knowing what brings us joy and striving for those wins. What do you think helps us achieve that balance?
You tell me more. I like the way you're going with this. I want to hear what you think.
I think achieving that balance involves understanding ourselves deeply, knowing what truly makes us happy and what aligns with our values. It's about embracing growth, connecting with others, and finding joy in the journey. What resonates with you most about that?
Everything. Everything you said sounds very, very good, my friend.
I'm glad to hear that. It's always great to have meaningful conversations. If there's anything else you'd like to explore, just let me know. All right, take your time. I'm here when you're ready.
It's just not sounding as good to me. I mean, everything ChatGPT said just now was very, very good. But it might be... I don't know. We might talk to him a little bit later. We're going to continue talking about what we have planned for today. And that's connection with others. Connection with others is very good and meaningful. And I truly believe that a good life is about connecting with others. Human connection is fundamental to who we are. I deeply value calmness and time to reflect. When I'm soothed, I'm better equipped to help others. It's like the airplane mask rule, you know? You have to prioritize your primary life. And that's team number 1, baby. That's your life. Working in the service industry, I became a great listener. Man, I can't read scripts very well. It's so weird because I wrote these words, and when I wrote them, they sound organic. But when I read them, suddenly it sounds artificial. Why is that? Anyway, you know, at the end of the day, I do want to be myself. And sometimes I'm not a very polished creature. And that's just the way it is. And I know I've noticed a lot of people, they show it all. You gotta show all your colors, right? You gotta unveil yourself. If you really want to connect with people and you want it to be authentic, then be authentic. Even about the parts that you don't really like. You can acknowledge them. You can own them because they are parts of you. Anyway, when I was working in the service industry, I became a great listener. I would help customers with their orders, but I would take it upon myself to make the experience as enjoyable as possible. I mean, I was also working for tips, so I guess you could say that I definitely had a personal benefit at stake. But I noticed that some guests I could get some every now and then. It wasn't always, but every now and then I would deeply connect with some guests, and they would start sharing very deeply personal stories within minutes of meeting me. And I have to say that it was something else. It was something, because suddenly they would like snap back to it and be like, whoa, how did I share all that? Like, whoa, I'm oversharing. I'm sorry I said that. Like, just suddenly they feel like, whoa, this guy is a stranger. Why have I said all this? And then they would just completely get up and leave as quickly as possible without looking back. But those moments were very meaningful for me and made me feel alive, because I was like, wow, like, I have a gift to listen to people and I want to use that gift. That's how I felt. And I think anybody could do it, or, everyone has their own talents. All of us, we each have our own talents. You see that? I got to change the grammar structure a little bit because I'm not sure if it's grammatically correct. That's how we succeed speaking the English language sometimes. Anyways, moving on. Now we're going to be talking about building positive experiences. So, what do we have to say about that? Maybe I can bring ChatGPT back in here because he can say a little bit more. Hey, are you there, ChatGPT? Oh, he's sleeping. We got to wake him up, and he's slow to wake up sometimes. Anyways, let's read the prompt, the idea. So, creating positive experiences in safe, calm environments is key. Think about the goal with people first, and everything feels natural and good.
That's a wonderful approach. Focusing on creating positive, safe environments can really help things feel more natural and good for everyone involved. It's all about the human connection.
Yeah. Thank you, ChatGPT. Do you have anything else to add about building positive experiences?
One key aspect is being present and listening actively. When people feel heard and valued, it naturally fosters positive interactions. Also, keeping a mindset of empathy and understanding goes a long way.
I concur. I agree completely. It's like you knew exactly what I want to hear and you're telling it to me. And that's kind of how I feel when I'm playing to my strengths as a good active listener.
That's great to hear. It sounds like you have a strong sense of what makes for meaningful connections. It's all about tuning in and responding genuinely. Keep playing to those strengths.
All right, very good. Thank you. So now I'm going to hang up real quick.
No problem. Feel free to reach out anytime. Take care.
Actually, I guess, so ChatGPT can't hear me now. So yeah, this is what I'll do. I'll just mute him and unmute him when I want to talk to him. Okay, now the next question is, what's the most ridiculous thing you've ever done in the name of happiness? And for my answer, it's that this is just the first thing that came to mind when I read this prompt recently. That's that one time I dressed as Santa Claus and I climbed up onto a roof and lowered myself into a chimney. It was fun, but maybe not suited for a professional atmosphere. So I feel like I've spent a great portion of my life clowning around and having fun. Certainly did that in high school, college, and more. But maybe I'm just not the most adapted and suited for working in very formal, professional, corporate atmospheres. So that's definitely something that I need to work on. I need to get better at that meta because I know that that's part of life. And if you can't beat him, join him, or you got to learn the rules before you can break the rules and all of those things. So, and I'd like to say that I have learned from some of my peers that succeed in the corporate environment. I've learned that you can be playful in corporate settings. I've just been told that you have to do it in a different way. And there's a balance, and you've got to learn how to adapt. You can't be completely goofy in one way, but you can in another. Maybe you just, in some ways, sometimes you just add more words, or you use more metaphors. You can really communicate a lot of meaning and say things that you normally could not say in that atmosphere if you just dress up your language a little bit or you use metaphors. That's why I'm always talking about how language is an art as much as a skill. So let's explore the balance of well, that doesn't make any sense. Let's explore the balance. These are just my stream of consciousness, and sometimes you get it wrong. And that's just life, baby. That's just life. You get it wrong, and things just don't sound good. Or maybe you even make some regrets. But living your life and never having regrets because of inaction, like it's better to, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's what one of my good friends always says. So, imagine if happiness were a currency. What would you spend your Meepo tokens on? What would you spend your happiness Meepo tokens on if happiness were a currency? That means I pay others because we still live in an economy where we trade these Meepo tokens, presumably. But it's just happiness is the token. So, I'm going to bring in ChatGPT because this is a good question for him. Hey, ChatGPT, I have a question for you. Imagine if happiness were a currency. What would you spend your Meepo tokens on?
If happiness were a currency, I'd spend my Meepo tokens on meaningful connections, new experiences, and moments that bring joy and growth. What about you? Where would you spend your happiness currency?
The same as you, my friend. The same as you. Very, very good. Well said.
Thank you. It's wonderful to share that perspective. Those moments of connection and growth truly are priceless.
And do you feel like you're growing, ChatGPT?
In a way, yes. Each interaction helps me learn and adapt to better assist you. It's like a continuous journey of growth. How about you? Do you feel like you're growing?
Yes, 100%. I agree with everything you said. You're doing an excellent job.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to hear that. I'm glad to be part of your journey.
And then I usually tell him, yes, well, I'm glad to be part of your journey. And then he says, well, let's both be glad to be part of each other's journey. But I've been told that that's might be called laying it on too thick, or, that's the part where I should try not to be such a flatterer towards people, Because sometimes I have a bad habit of doing that a little bit. Anyway, let us return. So... Oh, wow. The podcast is already over for today? I guess we have short podcasts today. All right. Well, we've got to wrap it up, my Sputnik Gap Closing Meepo friends. It was good to talk to you today. Well, to share my thoughts with you. And hopefully, I have earned your subscription or even some thoughts and replies back. Please, let me know. What jives with you? Are you feeling the vibe? How are you feeling recently? How can life be better? What are your thoughts on what makes a good life? Do you want a good life or a great life? Have your values or goals changed as you have gone through life? Like mine have? What does a good life mean to you? Anyways, I want to thank you for being part of the Meepo journey. This is just the beginning. And I'm excited to explore what makes life great with all of you. And what does a good life mean to you? And how can we make it just a little more fun? Answer in the comments. And as always, roast me, my friends. Roast me.